198, 199, and that's it right there. That's 200. Oh my gosh. I want to thank you guys so very, very much, guys, before we start off this video today, for hitting 200 subscribers. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much. I wouldn't be here without you, and just to represent that, I placed 200 of you guys down, just each and every one of you, one diamond block for each of you guys. And that pile is pretty big, I'm not gonna lie. If I had this pile in survival, I would be pretty darn happy. But with that said, thank you guys again so much, and let's start this video. Which, in today's video, we'll actually be doing the interior of this mansion right here. You guys might recognize it because I did do a building tutorial, so if you want to see how to build this too, I do have the link down in the description below to that. For those of you who are new though, this is YoMikester23. I usually do building tutorials, as you can see by all the builds that we have behind us and that sort of thing. But today, I'm just going to showcase the interior and show you guys a bunch of concepts that I made that you could probably apply to your own bases as well. If you guys do like this video, again, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe because it really does help me out. But with that said, thank you guys so much more once again for the 200 subscribers. That's absolutely wild. But with that said, let's go ahead, and I'm going to start off by showing a tour of this house, and then I'll explain the little features that I want you guys to be able to see as well. So let's do it. And for those of you with a keen eye, you might have noticed things such as like this white stained glass right there. That's new because I kind of modified the house just a little bit. I also added some exterior decorations. I don't remember if I put this in the build tutorial or not, but you know, there's actual some barrels and what is this, stone cutter there now that you can actually use, and it's functionable. And I also added a back entrance, a secret entrance right here underneath this little bit of a deck area that we got, so that you can actually go into the tower from this direction. And we also added in some bushes, some hopper things. I don't even know what those are, but I really like the way they look. And another thing is, if we go around the house, those of you with keen eyes wouldn't have been able to notice this just because it was on this side. We actually did add in a little bit of garden area just to spruce up this outside bit just a little bit. And we added some more path blocks and that sort of thing. And the way I have this garden going, because you can look around and you don't see any water nearby, is I actually just got this dark oak slab right here. And ooh, I might have broken that way too fast. There's some water right there that I just hit it underneath the dark oak slab so that we get these really nice plants. But with that said, let's go ahead through the front door and do a little bit of a tour before we start explaining the main features that I wanted to show you guys. So when we walk in, you're immediately greeted by this nice little hallway with a pretty low ceiling. It's a birch ceiling with a bunch of spruce slab struts going across to support it. We've got some nice couches and some bushes with some paintings. Over here, I added "Here lies the armor of Steve, the lost gold soldier." I don't know why. I didn't really know what I was writing. I was just writing it. It doesn't even really make that much sense, but I thought that'd be cool to have an armor stand in there and everything. We got a kitchen area over here. This is the hallway that leads to the garden outside, but you can see we got some paintings, nice kitchen area with a fridge, and I used some of the blackstone because, you know, since it was available, I thought, why not? Why not actually use it? And, you know, another detail I totally could have added too, and I didn't, and this is just me kind of doing it on the fly, but let's go ahead and get some beehives out and put these up here as little cabinets. Actually, maybe that's why, because I couldn't put one right there and I didn't want it to look out of place. Yeah, so never mind, we'll keep that. But we got that. Over here in this corner, we have got a nice office area with tons of hanging item frames. This is a bunch of paper. It's supposed to look very cluttered, like you've been working a full day's of work and you just have all your notes and ideas everywhere. Whatever work you might do, but this also does include a cartography table, a lodestone, and a toolsmith, I think that's what that's called, to actually upgrade your gear and that sort of thing. Now if we go outside, we do have another room right on over here, and this is my study area, which I absolutely love. Full of a bunch of barrels, armor stands with a totem of undying, just for a bit of decoration detail, lanterns and that sort of thing. It's a really nice place. You could definitely see why someone would want to come in here and just chill out. Maybe with the window you can read your books while looking outside at the nice cottage over there that we got. But yeah, it turned out pretty cool on the inside. We even have a hidden shulker box down there too for secret goods and that sort of thing. There's a few secret hidden spots that I'll show you guys eventually too. With that said though, let's go ahead and go into this room, which this room is really just a hallway to the main tower. But as you can see, we do have some barrels and some extra storage space. You might as well not waste this amount of space that we got. And here, this is actually the bedroom that we got, and you can see a double decker bed with an anvil. It's a very crowded space, so putting a lot of details in here was kind of hard to do, but I think it turned out all right. I think what I could have done too is actually just added a few spruce signs right there, just for a tiny, you know what, hold up. We'll put one right there instead too, just for a tiny bit more of extra detail. I like doing that when we have struts going across the roof. Now we can go into the tower, which is the back entrance I showed you earlier to the tower, so you can get in from this way as well now. If we climb up, Open the trap door. This is the first story, which again is just a bit more storage and some sea pickles randomly placed. But this is where we can actually access the attic, which over here, you can see why I added these white stained glass blocks, is so that we could have this little bit of a hallway that leads to the attic space, which the attic space is my absolute favorite spot. It feels very open. We got this cool upper level that you can go onto as well. There's tons of barrels, tons of storage, that sort of thing. Lots of chest, anvils, and a nice desk with a painting just so you can look at that, I guess. Over here, we do have a bit of a wardrobe and some lights, foliage all around the house, flowers in the windows, and then we even have a way to actually get onto this upper deck over here. You guys might remember me building this and having this doorway, so this is a way you can actually get on up here. And you can also look down from the upper level down to the bottom of the attic floor. Now from there, the very last room we got to explore, and then I'll show you guys the key features I wanted to show you, is the upper level of this tower, which really, in all reality, was just kind of a workstation. I put some grindstones. You could probably put a few more tools that you would need, like furnaces and that sort of thing, but you can see there's some levers, there's a stone cutter and some grindstones, brewing stand, that sort of thing. So, with that said, that actually is the entire tour of it done, which, whew, all this zooming is making me go crazy, but we'll go ahead and show some of the key aspects I wanted to show you guys as well. And starting off on this very first level floor, one of the first things you might have noticed is these, I guess you could call them pillows on a nice bench. And a lot of you guys already know this trick as well, but basically what you do is if you get a blue banner and you stick it one block below, and this only works on the first level floor unless you make the floors too thick, you can actually put a banner right there, put a stair right next to it, and then put a sign next to it as well to create this illusion that it's got a nice couch with these pillows. Now I love this. It's a very minor detail that I wanted to show you, but it just brings to life this blue theme that we've already created with the blue carpet, the blue banners. That's another thing when building these things too, is you usually want to stick to one theme, one color palette. So make sure to keep that in mind when building this. Another feature though that I really wanted to show you guys was this fridge over here. At first glance, it might just look like an iron door with some iron blocks next to it. But if you press this button, there actually is a barrel hidden underneath where you could actually store a bunch of food and that sort of stuff. And I really like that addition. It's cool. It makes the fridge, not fidge, what the heck am I saying? It makes the fridge actually functional and you can actually store food in there. So that's a really cool aspect as well. Along with, this is one thing that I do all the time, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to delete this sign, but using slabs, armor stands can actually sit on many differing amount of blocks. Let me go ahead and I'll demonstrate this real quick what I'm talking about. If we get some snow piles out, just for instance, and then we get an armor stand, I believe this should work, but if we say put a bunch of snow right there, we can have an armor stand. No, it doesn't work with snow, does it? Huh. Let's get slabs. I'm sorry about that. If we get some spruce slabs right here, that's a spruce slab block, and another spruce slab right there. With the armor stands, you can actually place them on the slabs, which is really, really cool for decorational purposes, because now you can put these at like different varying heights, and that means you can create these cool armor stand looking things, which we'll go back inside just to show you what I'm talking about again. If we run back in here real quick, you can see I actually have this armor stand sitting on a slab, because with a block, it would look like the head was stuck in the ceiling, but with the slab, you get this really nice, perfect height where it looks a little bit above head level, a little bit above eye level, but it's also really, really nice to look at. Okay, let's go ahead and find some other features to point out as well. Which, another thing I really wanted to point out the use of is item frames, which right there you can see this floor looks a little uncluttered and there's not too much detail in this desk, but as soon as you say, not get another right sword, but if you get an item frame, we can go ahead and stick this in a spot where no other block could actually be put. If I were to try to put a birch plank right there, you can see it doesn't work, but with an item frame, it adds just this extra bit of detail that you wouldn't have otherwise. So using item frames when doing your builds is a really good idea. You can see I even have one of an anvil right there, or hanging from this little post. You can use these things to hang from signs and to just add so much more detail to your builds, which I don't think I'm gonna put them right there. Actually, they don't look too bad right there. That looks pretty good right there. So that's another cool detail though. Always try to incorporate item frames because they can be placed in just about anywhere, even on corner blocks as well. If we were to go ahead and put an item frame here and here, they go on the exact same block. And so they're one of the most unique kind of features of Minecraft because it's hard to accomplish a lot of little details in Minecraft when you get these big chunky blocks all the time. Another thing I'd like to point out is trapdoors. Trapdoors can be perfect for a lot of things. They can be used for very thin creations like this closet wall. You don't want it to be this thick block right here. So what we can do instead is use trapdoors, and it creates nice, thin exterior kind of things. And you can even use them to hide stuff. If we were to flick open this trapdoor right there, I bet you wouldn't have realized there was a barrel underneath the staircase hidden where you can store a bunch of your valuable stuff. And another thing that I always like to point out is foliage. So you can see we got bushes, we got flowers, and there's even a spot that I can just demonstrate on the spot. I'm gonna go get a pot, and then let's go ahead and get, we'll get a cornflower. Right here, you can put foliage in so many different areas to brighten up the rooms, and it really does help. Whether it's sea pickles or what spruce leaves up there, or just regular flowers, you can use that to color up your house and make it a little bit less dull than this, you know, just kind of brown that we got going on already. It just adds a bit more color and feature to it. And another thing I like to say too, or like to add, is this light gray carpet. This is something I've been doing recently, but in my attic space, it looks so much like dust on top of these trapdoors and everything, and I really like that. If you're wanting to go for a really kind of old or just kind of a place that's not used as often, adding in this dust, just any, you know, just random spots, makes it look a lot more aged and very, very cool. Let's go ahead and point out just a few more features, and then I think that's just about it. Which I guess the last thing I'd really just want to point out is trying to find the most minuscule of details, but incorporate them at the same time. And what I mean by that is things just like you probably wouldn't have noticed unless I pointed this out, but we got wool blocks right there next to blue carpets. And this adds a tiny bit of variation in the height on the path. And this just adds a tiny bit more texture. You see that we got that one shadow right there and that shadow right there that we can now see instead of having this monotonous, I guess you could say, blue carpet right here going all the way across. You see with the blue carpet, there's no shadow, but with this, it adds a tiny bit of dimension. Or these signs that I hang on the support beams going across the ceiling, without these signs, it would seem a little bit more lifeless. And so what you want to do when you're building these builds and when you're trying to create interiors is you want to try to find the most minute details to add them, just to add a tiny bit more life. I feel like I could have even done better right here too with the kitchen. I feel like the ceiling doesn't have enough details on it actually, and I feel like there's definitely a little bit more improvement that I could have done. But yeah, it's just a smaller, or just like a random button right there. I know we did this in this room over here too. Just a random button, a random pressure plate, just thrown here and there with some item frames. And doing this will add to your builds just so much more detail and so much character, which is exactly what you want. You want it to be a life-full build, one that seems like it's been lived in. And that's all I kind of wanted to do today, was just kind of give you guys a few tips on interiors and stuff. I hope you guys did like this video. If you want to see more like it, just comment down below and let me know. The reason it was kind of like this too, it was a little bit more on the quicker side of things, was just because, again, I've been in school lately and I've had a lot of homework and that sort of stuff, and work in general too. Working at my job is can be a little tough to get some videos out there, but I thought this was a fun one. It was fun doing the interior and just giving you guys a few tips. With that said, I don't know what the next video is going to be. I seriously have literally no idea. Comment down below some ideas that you guys would like to see for videos done, some tutorials maybe, or just I don't know, just comment down below what you guys would like to see. But with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy playing Minecraft as usual, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao!